Hurry. Need to call the meeting to order and begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First item on the agenda is approval of the agenda. Do we have any additions, modifications?
Just had that one addition for the highway.
What is that? You're talking about for
The detour.
over there up at, okay. So is Steve staying here for, in the River Road Phase 2? Or are you doing that on the 23rd?
Doing that on the 23rd.
So we'll put it in River Road Phase 2. We'll take that out and put the IDOT. It's a contract, maybe? Is that what it is? Or
Contract for the road closure, right? We did detour.
with that modification, any others? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve it as presented.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Public comment. Charlie, I think you're the one on here.
Good evening. I apologize. I didn't get this on the agenda, but it just came up. I'm actually here speaking as the clerk on two issues. One is just for you to think about because we do not have an election next year other than a referendum up in Kansas. But apparently during early voting, we had several people fall in this room, and actually one of the poll workers was injured. So it was brought to my attention that maybe between now and 26, when there is an election, that maybe a different location for it. So I'm just asking you guys to start considering that. And the other one is the swearing in ceremony will be January 2nd at 8 a.m.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Do you know, Charlie, if it has to be on the early voting, has to be in a government building?
I'm not sure that we will do some research. During the discussion, it was talked about this back room that Teresa used to have that years ago, apparently they did some early voting back there. But
Yeah,
It's gotten so big now, the early voting, there's so much volume that, I don't know, but I know what you say because it slants down and it's hard for the elderly people.
And I thought I would bring it up tonight so the commissioners could think about it, because like I said, we don't have anything next year other than a referendum, and my understanding, we are going to use paper ballots for the referendum.
See, that was my question, because my understanding is it's only for the Cannleton School Corporation.
Yes.
And I'm not exactly sure what's required. We wouldn't have early voting, and I think Cannleton pays for the costs, if I
Yes.
remember correctly.
Yes.
So,
That will not play into this, but gives you all more time to think about if there is another location.
right. And I don't know, they will probably just have voting the day of,
I was told there was one early day for this also. As soon as I get all the facts together, I will.
yeah, I don't know on those type of referendums what the rules are.
I don't either. So, but I just wanted to inform you of those two.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Next item on the agenda is the minutes from 12/02/2024. Any alterations, changes?
I'll make a-
Motion.
We have a motion,
I'll second that
and a
motion.
second. All those in favor of accepting the minutes as presented?
Aye.
Passes 3-0. Charlie,
I'll be right there.
you should have just stayed up here.
Well, I need these. All right, when I'm approaching the commissioners tonight for is an approval of a lease agreement with Southern Business Machine. Apparently, we need a new postage meter in our office. Apparently, the one they have that's in there now was bought in 2014, and it's not up to standards with the Postal Service, and it can't be, changed out. So on Thursday, I'm approaching the council for money to pay for the equipment, but this is the monthly rental that apparently they've been paying it for several years at a rate of $152 a month. With this new agreement, the payment on the rental agreement is only $55 a month. But there is a contract to sign, and I am approaching you for permission to go ahead, if the council approves the spending to buy this meter, that we go ahead and sign the rental agreement.
How much was that new monthly cost? Sorry, I missed it.
Okay, the new one is only $55 a month,
55.
and the other one was $152, and we pay it quarterly.
And the meter, the equipment and software itself is $56.95.
$56.95, and the request is less because there is some money left in my account for it. So I think we're asking for, I think it's like $5,300.
5536.73.
Okay. So that'll be a approach to the council. Now, there's a annual maintenance agreement that it is a little higher. They have been paying $795 a year. It's going up to $815.99 a year on that. But I think there's money already budgeted in the budget for that. So the only additional cost will be purchasing the meter. And we mail out all the court papers and things. So it's important to the court that we update this.
Is there any way that software can be update the one you have?
No, there's nothing, it's about, I don't know if it's something to do with the labels, that the new meter will do this up to specs with the Postal Service. The older one, it doesn't do it, and there's no way of changing
The
it.
barcodes.
Yes. And we found out today that if it is approved, that they'll bring a new machine with a base and take the old meter, but leave the base, but they're not interchangeable, so it's not going to save anything on that.
So are they giving you anything for the old meter?
No,
They're just
because it's
taking it.
still in that agreement that we still rent it. Now, there is postage on it, and Randy, I think you came and looked at it that day. It will transfer to the new one.
The postage that's left
Yes.
on the old one.
I think there's a little over $500 now that's on there that they will transfer to the new meter.
So am I understanding this right? We're going to pay about $5,600 for the machine, right?
Mhm.
Then we're going to have to pay $815 as an annual fee,
Annual fee plus a monthly.
plus an additional $55 per month,
Yes,
and that buys us 0 postage.
exactly. This is just, and you know that I just came into the office. This is what was handed to me, and I am delivering it. But
I mean, how much mailing do you do? Do you have a meter? Do you I mean, and I guess does the assessor do their own mailing, or are they
Well,
contracted?
I don't know, everyone does.
I mean,
does
some of the tax
stamps.
bills go out, and I don't know whether we have a third party doing it or.
We have a third party that does tax bills.
So surely that's unlimited mail. It could be more or 10,000.
But you have.
But it's paying for each one on the meter,
Okay.
it runs down. But again, this is very important to the court system.
Well, yeah, you can see that, yeah.
And how long is this contract for? Is it yearly or, I mean, what length of time of a contract is it?
I mean, we're buying a machine and they're charging us about $1,600 or $1,400, whatever.
A year?
I'm buying no postage. I mean, I would think that if we're gonna lease it, pay those type of service fees,
It doesn't say.
we wouldn't have to buy the machine.
We should never do that.
It seems to me like we're paying for the machine and then we're leasing it after we've already paid for it.
Is the leasing going towards the postage though?
That's what he said. We're not buying any postage. So,
But we're paying for that separate. The
yeah,
postage.
we'd have to still add in the postage, but,
Is that the only game in town?
$1,400-$1,500 just to,
6-month contract.
Yes.
A what? Plus the 815,
$815 annual.
right?
Yes, and apparently I looked back through the books and that's the way it's been since they purchased this back in 2014.
It was from the same company?
Yes,
And you didn't check to see if there's any other postal meters out there that,
no, because this was dropped in my lap last week and
This is just for envelope mail?
my understanding, I guess any size envelope, I think they can run
You
through.
weigh it. It's
And it
scale.
weighs
Yeah,
itself
no,
and
it's
it
got a scale.
puts the postage.
do you need a decision tonight? Or
Yes,
can you wait?
because for us to get it paid for this month, this year, I have to make sure you okay it, then go to the council, they okay it, and then they will send us the billing so I can turn it in to Chris for Mondays.
Do they have to have the payment in 2023? Because,
24.
24, sorry, because it's an additional, so whether we do the additional in 2024 or 2025, it's really not going to matter, it's an additional.
The only reason is we have a meeting 3rd, now we're gonna have another one for the 30th. If it would give you a little time to do a little research to make sure that there's not an alternative out here that's a little more cost effective.
I would be willing to do that, that's no problem, but I will still approach the council and let them know what we're looking
Yeah,
at.
that's fine.
Try to get,
But I mean, simply, look at the whole thing and see what else might be out there. I don't know who does some mass mailings, but there's somebody in the area here, give them a call, see what they're doing, how they're handling, what their
I
charges
don't know if
are.
the banks do it or not, or if they have a system like that.
They may go out of a data center somewhere too, so.
You might call
And a lot of
other
it's going
counties.
electronic.
Yeah.
You might
you
call
Spencer County,
other clerks in other counties.
Crawford, Spencer.
All right,
See what-
sounds good.
And then you can bring it back to us once, either the 23rd or the 30th, whatever,
On the 23rd, what time are you meeting?
9 a.m.
9 a.m.
And we'll probably meet on 9 a.m. on the
30.
30th too.
Okay. I
We'll have
will
morning meeting.
try to do it on the 23rd, if not the 30th.
Okay.
All right.
Just get us better.
Get on
All
the
right.
agenda.
Okay.
Thanks, Charlie.
Next item up is the signing of the IDOT agreement out here on the road closure.
You'll come up, Steve. Is that the one on Copper, where they're gonna use Copper Road?
Yes.
Okay. You did contact the state on that too, didn't you, about getting money to maintain
I
our
called the
roads?
state, and they went out that day, I called them and videoed the road, and she said, if she's hitting that the same day, and they will pay for any damages done. They'll video it again after the project's done, and then they'll pay for any damages. And I asked, she said, it says in there, I have to contact them each time we work on the road, get prior approval. I asked her about that, she said, just keep a record of what you do, and you don't have to call here ever, because we've been hauling rock on almost every day.
Well, I mean, it's no more than right that the state pick it up if they're using a county road as a detour.
Yes.
They're gonna have to do the same thing in Tobinsport.
Spencer County doing that?
Well, now, I don't know for sure if they're doing it. I called down there and asked, and the superintendent was out, and the girl in the office said he's applying for that. So I don't know if they've got it approved, but they were applying for MDOT to also cover their end.
You would know it if they weren't, because the other end of it towards Spencer County, it looked like mud by
I've
now.
been told it does, but I haven't seen it.
This is so probable.
So it's gonna be about 4 months?
Yeah.
Be down?
Is that the road out on 62 closed?
Yeah, we didn't even know that went on until a lady that lives out there called and said something about the bridge being down. And I didn't see any records or anything on it.
They used to send this information every time they was going to.
Close one, yeah.
But they didn't, they failed to this time.
Yeah, they usually send you a heads up that it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
Yeah, you always come to us before they even do the work and do an unofficial detour.
yeah.
That's a shortcut to Ferdinand.
As long as they maintain our road, our county roads.
Any other questions? We okay with it? I mean,
Do we need to sign this, Steve?
Yep. you gotta fill out your federal ID and that on the back.
I'll do all that. I'll do that for you.
Entertain a motion to approve the, what do they call it, Becky, before we
It is
sign?
a memorandum of understanding, unofficial detour on local roads.
I'll make that motion.
Second, all those in favor? Aye.
Also, you asked me at the last meeting to check on that guardrail.
Yes,
Uh,
yes.
The cable guardrail can't be used along the side of the road. That's only for a median in the
Median.
median on an interstate. It's got too much give to it. And I looked at the other guardrails, and the one that we normally use is the least restrictive as far as side of any of them I've seen. The rest of them are wider, or got another band toward the bottom or something.
Will this just be one piece of guardrail?
Yes. It'll be 31 inches high, the top of the guardrail, and it's 24 inches from the edge of the pavement.
And it's what, about 200 feet long?
Yeah, 200 feet.
When are you planning on installing that?
I think he's waiting for us to tell him.
Whenever you say so.
You're gonna have a mad person out there.
I know.
But, I mean, I'd rather see something go up than someone drowned
Yeah.
in a pond.
If we don't do
Being that
something,
close,
it's
it's
going to create a lot of
Yes.
liability.
Yeah. It puts us, we knew about it and we got record, we
Mhm.
talked about it.
Yeah.
Someone, I don't wanna see someone get drowned.
And we've had several people request that we do it.
Mhm.
What do you think?
I don't think we got a choice.
No.
Yeah, I know, it's a safety issue out there. I understand why they don't want a guardrail along there. I mean, it's gonna be harder to mow around, and it's not the most beautiful piece of artwork, but in the event somebody hits an eye spot there and slides off the road.
And it's a heavily traveled county road.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has to be done. So I make a motion.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second to install the guardrail in it's Leopold Road, or what do you call it?
34.
34. Any other discussions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. Next item up, we have, it's the payroll for 12/16/2024 in the amount of $186,183.20.
I make a motion.
I'll second that motion.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Next item up for the same date, 12/16/2024, payroll withholding in the amount of $40,511.98.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Health claims for 12/17/2024 in the amount of $48,375.34.
I make a motion.
I'll second that motion.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
The last item for 12 17, 2024, accounts payable claim docket in the amount of $449,807.64.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Yes, sir.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
All right.
Motion passes. Next item up is 2025 contracts. First one we have on here is,
The
When did we
PCBC.
go?
Remember we added the PCBC affidavit?
Right here.
No, I didn't. no, that's my old copy, so I didn't use your new
New
copy.
one.
Okay, you put it in right after
Yep.
the payroll, okay.
Mhm.
Is this a new one, or is this the one we should have signed the last time?
I think we just need a signature on it.
We what?
We just need a signature on it.
Yes, I think we
did it.
approved
We
this.
approved it, not talked
Yeah.
about it.
Yes, at our last meeting.
Yep.
It's our remedial work that was contracted.
Yep.
RES Kentucky LLC.
Mhm.
I think we just didn't sign it.
Yep.
So I don't know that we need to discuss that anymore. We did approve it, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It was approved.
approved it.
Take it on with you. Next item up, we have contracts for 2025. First one up is Perry County Development Corporation. We have that, and I think we,
Oh, here it is.
currently, I think you have that, and I'm also speaking with some other similar organizations just for background information. I've got 2 or 3 others I'm still talking to.
I like to table this until we can get some more information. If that's,
We can get some other ideas or something that we may have come in just for comparison purposes and ideas on what we might do, so.
this is the same as it was last year, right? 180,
Yes,
correct?
yes.
So you want to table till first of the year, or
Let's see. We might be able to, I don't know, it depends on how quick I get any information back, just to give us something to talk about.
the only thing I'm saying that at the end of the year, I'll be stepping away. So you can do it either way. You know, it could be good if the new elected officials see it, because they'll have to deal with it next several years. You know, you hate to vote on something this important and walk away from it. So, I mean, it's whatever, I mean,
We can go for the 30th.
Well, 30th, Randy will still be here.
sometimes that, I mean, just,
Let me see what
but
happens.
it's very important to us, you know,
Yep.
the-
So, let's see how stuff comes in once, and then we can,
So you're gonna table it till the 30th?
yeah, and we may want to push it on to the first meeting in January. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe reach out to the new commissioner for their opinion too. I mean, as far as,
you know,
so we can do that. Next one up, we have Glenn's Cleaning Service. Is that the same as last year?
Yes, they have not done a price raise, but we have never had the waxing on the contract. And that's where we continually kept running short and running into, because the waxing expense was not on there. So I worked with him and I added the annual floor waxing for all buildings on there, but they have not done a price raise since. And from what I understand, they're picking up the clean the prosecutors as well?
That was my next question.
Yes.
I wanted to know,
Well, there's,
for comparison purposes,
I was wondering, since we have one separate, I would like to see if we could combine those. Since I have to pay that out of my commissary, I would like to see if we could combine that, make it all one, because we do that at the sheriff's office.
we have several issues, and this is just how we're writing our contracts. Steve's got some issues with how we got involved with shoulder stone. It's shoulder stone along the roads and how we ended up getting tagged for extra money on one of them, and that needs to be revisited. We also need to clearly specify our insurance coverages, because if our vendors are covering the liability, we need to make our brokers and insurance agents aware of that, because it lessens our potential liability as a county, and we should be able to potentially save us some money on premiums.
We have one as well. for the
So,
sheriff's office.
Yes,
I
and
would
so,
like to see this all together.
and it doesn't hurt, I mean, to do that and to get a uniform, because we're gonna need to look at these contracts because of that, because we want to make sure that we're covered, but we don't need to have duplicate coverage. In the process of getting these relationships with the hospital currently, because I think there's overlapping coverage there also. I think when we bought the ambulance, we were covered it and they were covering it. We were covering the building at Cannleton, and we had sold that 3 years ago. So those are the kind of things that we need to look at and clean up. And this one here, it does include the prosecutor's office.
That's what Ike explained to me, that he
We
said
need
he
to-
was taking on the prosecutor.
I was
Confirm
trying to
that.
look through there and I didn't see anything in the contract about that.
Well, it's here, they're here at the courthouse now, the courthouse
Yeah, I know,
offices.
so they're, okay,
Because it's considered a courthouse office
Just-
now.
okay.
Confirm that
Okay.
with them. And
Table
then,
this one till the
and then it-
commissioner. Yeah.
yes, and then with Alan, if we incorporate these things, is there any cost savings, or how would, I mean, reach out to them once to see how that would impact them
Ours is
too.
not that much simple because we have inmates clean
Mhm.
80% of it. But the staff for us over there, I don't let inmates in over there.
What are you doing, just your offices up there in the entrance?
The front lobby and the offices there, my office.
Your
All
office.
that through there and the bathrooms.
Can you email me that contract
Yes,
where
I
I
will.
can,
Yes, I will.
okay, that's
I
okay.
just thought it might help if we would just all put it together.
Do it all
It's
together.
worth considering.
Yeah, since they're this close, I mean.
They're here.
Yeah, they're here. I think it'd be a good
I'm
thing.
not- We
Just
just
put 'em
paid a lot
together.
out of my commissary already. I would just like to see that.
Maybe you could pay for everything out of your commissary and we
I
could.
didn't say that.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Just checking. I thought,
Yeah, because we just have 30. We only budgeted 30,000.
we'll just have to go, we'll see where we are once and see.
30,000 here.
So let's-
2,500
Table that one.
I'd entertain a motion to table that until we get a little more information on the Glenn's cleaning.
Okay,
I'll make that motion.
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
True roll,
We kind of want to hold off on that.
okay? Looks like that one's gonna get tabled too.
I'll make a motion to table.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And this is broad, Chris, discussion of other general contracts that need reviewed.
Well, we haven't had a work session, and I know that we keep talking about it in at the end of the second year. I think we need to really evaluate the contracts that we have.
I think we need to look at service contracts and what we're
Yes.
buying for those, because it
Yes.
seems like we pay for maintenance, but every time we have something that breaks, we pay for it.
So I think this year we've really done, with us having to upload all the contracts to Gateway. After the first of the year, I'm sure there's going to be some more that roll in that we need to really look through all the contracts that have been turned into the auditor's office and make sure all departments, which I feel like they've been advised that all contracts have to be turned in. So then we can have a good starting point to
And work from
review.
there.
Yeah,
And
so,
we need to make sure we have our insurance coverage by
right.
these contractors
Right.
in place also.
Yes, yes.
So, So if you'll accumulate those,
Okay.
we'll have to sit
After the
down
first
and, yeah,
Okay.
and have a meeting and just,
Something I always want to ask you too, Chris, on this, on the board appointments.
Yep.
Are you going to have a list of what needs to be,
Yes.
what's up?
Yes,
And-
we will have all that for you, hopefully, the 30th or 31st. Be able to email that to you right now. Anybody who is interested in board appointments, on the homepage of the website is right there, open board appointments, and then you click on it, and then it goes to council commissioners. So then you click on council. It shows all of the internal and external ones that the council has to appoint on January 2nd, and then the commissioners. And then as we are getting the letter of interest, we are compiling, like putting all those letters together with whatever board it is, and then compiling a spreadsheet for you guys to where, okay, these are all your applicants.
Because I know I hadn't got, but just very few.
Most of them are just
letters.
sending them to me, and I just thought rather than forward them all to you and have a zillion emails go in your direction, we're just compiling it. If they copy you guys on it, of course you guys see it, but some of them I'm just getting where they're just sending to the auditor's office, or some of them are still, dropping off letters by hand. So the cutoff for that is next Friday, the 27th at 4:00, I believe. Yep. Or is
That's
it the
for all the
30th?
board appointments?
Yes. Hold on, I'm gonna look at the website real quick because I've got it on there.
I was thinking it was later than that, but not.
It might be the 30th. I hate that because well, yeah, I think it is the 30th because then we can compile it on the 31st and have it to you guys in time for January 2nd. So let's see real quick. Perry County News, or Perry County Government. Yeah, there's a link right here. See where it says 2025 open appointments, letters of interest due 4:00 on 12/27.
Okay.
So you can get them to us on the 27th. Thank you. So next item up, we have the GIS agreement. We approved that. That is for the ambulance service. So they can track that ambulance no matter where it is within the county and direct them to the location of the individual and or where the phone call is coming from. Currently, the police can be sent to the location. They can track it through dispatch, but the ambulances, they cannot. So,
Does that work with cell phones also?
yes, they're setting up a .com, and so they can pull it up. They can set it on like a laptop, or they can make a system where you can pull it up on your phone, your pad, your anything, and it costs us a little more money, but that's the way we went. That way, in the event a laptop wasn't charged in the ambulance, one of the EMTs could pull up a cell phone and access it and go to town. So it'll help them get to the location
Is this
quicker.
also going to be available for the first responders?
It's there.
I mean,
Well, your first
sometimes
responders.
you got a first responder that's right down the road.
Mhm.
When you got an ambulance, it's going to take
It's gonna
20
be,
minutes to get there.
it's gonna be tied in with this pulse point system.
Okay.
It's gonna direct you where it's coming from, where there's AEDs located, where there's bleed kits located, no matter where you are in the county.
Okay.
So it'll get you there quicker, faster. That's, that's coming in February, so we're a little ahead of ourselves. So all we need on that one is signatures, because we've already paid for it and approved it.
Do you have it?
Chris, you've got it, don't you? Or don't you?
No, I don't. You added that one. I don't have that.
Okay,
I'll get it. I'll table it.
then I've got it, we'll take it. It just needs a signature, we've already
Email it
paid
to
for it.
me. I'll print it and put it with the signed stuff.
Okay, I'm gonna leave myself a note to email it to you.
Yeah, and then I'll just help you guys to sign.
Then the next item up is Convention and Visitors Bureau, and I put that one on there. What I'd like to do, I've asked Andrew about this, and changing the amount of people that's on that board from, currently it has 11, and changing it to a different amount is not a big ordeal. And what I'd like to see is the board go down to 7 instead of 11. I think you get too many people on a board and that it just doesn't function as efficiently as as a smaller board. So that's why I wanted to put it on here and throw it out for discussions. What it would do would be the same ratios. We would appoint 4 and they would appoint, Tell City would appoint 3. Instead of currently, we appoint 6 and they appoint 5. That's how it is.
It
And
doesn't look like
it's
a lot
kind of,
to be on a board.
and then it's currently, we're up for reappointment in those areas. So it'd be a matter of working through who's gonna take over in 25.
So you would start over with 7. You would probably stagger some of them.
Well, what I would suggest as far as the county's concerned, and Tell City decides how they want to do things, but I would suggest we would get 2 of them appointed to 2-year terms and 2 of them appointed to 1-year terms. That way we would have a rotation and always have some consistency back on the board. It wouldn't always be fresh and new, carryover.
So the people on there right now would just step away and
Well, what I-
and apply
Yeah.
to be reappointed.
So do I need to update that sheet after the?
Well, it depends. She's talking about updating her sheet.
Oh,
Update that?
I just think that functionality, we'll see how it works. We can always change it back or forth or whatever we want to do. But to see if it becomes
I've been on boards where there's 7, and that sometimes can get confusing. I mean, but, all of that, because there's so much going on and
And
trying to
we-
get all these people to get a quorum
Yeah.
at these,
Stan, he's on that board. I think he wants to share. Come up here to the,
Oh, yeah.
and it's hard
It's gonna
sometimes,
be short.
it's hard sometimes to get a quorum.
well,
Yeah. I am on the CVB board and I agree with going down to 7 on that board because we have been dysfunctional with that many. And I think it would be a lot better with just having fewer people on there. It doesn't, it will affect the CVB non-for-profit too, because everyone that's on this board will go to the CVB, because there's 11 on the CVB now, so, but they got options on the non-for-profit also on that, so.
it just makes it's less people and hopefully they can,
And I will say it definitely needs to become functionable because I know I've reached out because I wanted to buy some Christmas gifts
Yes.
down there on things and I can't because it's not, I can't even buy anything. I know
To
they're
say
not
the
open.
least, it's been
Yeah.
dysfunctional.
There's jackets down there that I wanted to buy for Christmas gifts, but I can't buy them because,
I think somebody would manage to sell them to you.
no, I've been told we can't.
You can't.
I've asked.
The store has been discontinued
Yes.
until.
You get things worked out.
Yeah.
There we go.
Things worked out, yeah.
So,
So we're,
I don't understand having merchandise and not selling it.
well, but I think the whole thing needs to be, decide where they're going and get some,
Get some
well,
directions
the
going
store-
here.
The store was not profitable. We were losing money on it, and we're just trying to get some efficiencies in there. So. I mean,
thanks, Dan. Any other comments?
And it's okay, Commissioner's got total say on the way it's set up.
The way Andrew explained it to me, he said it's a rather simple thing to modify. I asked him whether it's something we bring up at our meeting. He said yes. So I'd say if we want to go down that direction, he'll change whatever's necessary. It's just rewriting the ordinance that established it, I believe is what it amounts to.
And that's
Just
just changing numbers.
Just changing, yeah, from 11 to 7.
They won't change anything else, correct?
I don't think so. It was actually written back in the 90s, but it's basically mimics state statute is how it's set up.
Okay.
There may be something that needs to be modified slightly if state law changed, but I don't think it's anything significant. But you'll have to draft that. Then we'll have to approve the ordinance when it happens, but.
Well, I make a motion to go to 7.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussions? Hearing none, all those in favor of reduction from 11 to 7 on the CVB?
Aye.
Aye.
So do I need to update that now?
We just need to let Andrew know so that, yeah,
So go ahead and update it.
Yep. and then we need to get him, I'll send him an email and tell him it needs to be rewritten.
Okay.
So he gets
And
started.
you need to list that on all the boards to be up.
Yeah, that's what I was
That's what
asking if I
Chris-
could go ahead and do that.
We usually
myself.
give
What you talking about?
6 weeks, but I think probably you can get them done by the end of the,
First year here,
Yeah.
we're going back into reappointments.
Yeah.
It's the time to do it. Next thing is the finance policy. I think I sent that to everybody.
I didn't get it.
You must not, yeah. You're not on our finance committee, though. Amanda did, I'm sure. What that does is establish a fund for our interest income to be placed in it, is what it amounts to. And we have to do that. That's our finance and investment policy because we'll meet the first of the year.
Okay.
The commissioners and the treasurer are on that. And then there will be a separate ordinance passed by the council.
So we're gonna take all the interest out of the general fund and put it in.
You'll have a specific fund it's put into.
Is it gonna start going forward in 2025? It's not to go back, right?
That is going to be a decision by the council. They're your money people. But what we have to do is establish it through our finance group.
So this is the policy, so an ordinance will need to be passed.
This
To
is
be
just
able to
simply,
do
we
that.
have to establish this, and then the council will have to pass an ordinance.
Andrew drew all that up. Andrew drew that
No.
up, didn't he?
we'll be able to track the interest better this way.
They won't
And-
fall into the, and we'll kind of see where we are, and then whatever we do with it, we'll know where the funding's coming from versus it didn't come out of property tax or local income tax or
It
where
makes
it's actually
sense.
coming from.
It's
the same thing we-
Sort of like the rainy day fund.
Well, whatever they choose to use it for.
Yeah,
It'll
I
be
mean,
your
that's-
pot where you can,
But-
where you see where your extras at.
Chris made mention today, and I think with something else we're gonna have to do ordinance-wise, is set up another fund for our solid waste.
Yep.
Rather than operating out of the general fund.
Yes.
It's
Mhm.
currently, we're not operating out of it until 2025, but we need to get that, so it
Set
keeps
up.
those costs separated.
I think this is a great
And then we
idea
can-
as far as setting up that fund, but we've worked really hard to build that general up. And if you guys remember before last year, interest was being divided between accounts and it's went from, us having 16% of our estimated expenditures on reserve to where we ended right under 25 and projected to be at 38% at the end of this year. We'll know the exact amount wherever. So, I think it's a good idea to be intentional with this and start, but we don't want to totally deplete our general. So, but I think this is a
I mean, the council can take and transfer money
correct.
however they choose.
Sure.
Yeah, to put it in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. what's
Yeah, if they
built
need
up.
Yeah, that can be
Yeah.
transferred.
But this way we'll know, because interest rates and the amount we can actually receive will vary.
And two, when interest goes down, we're not dependent on that money. We watch it a little closer.
Correct.
This makes it
If it
more
goes down.
easy and visible to see what's
What's
what
what,
instead of one
what you
big
have.
pot.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm trying to get with the council on breaking down the edit, because right now the edit's just one big pot and we keep track of it separately.
Speaking of the solid waste, we're moving on the solid waste.
Hold on, Becky.
What?
Are we gonna get this finance policy passed?
Oh.
I'll make a motion to approve the finance policy.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, go on now.
Things are looking real good. We've found a lot of stuff. Matter of fact, we found a, what compactor? Spencer County was good enough to come get our light bulbs, which have been, the fluorescent bulbs, which have been there for, 10 years. And they came and got them, and behind those light bulbs was a compactor. And it looks like it's almost new. They used to compact clothes, compressed clothes, when they took clothes, shoes, purses, and stuff like that. And I guess when they didn't take it no more, they just put it in the corner and put everything in front of it. But that's a good thing there because we're going to be able to use it. Tag sales are going through the roof right now. As of today, there's been 6,120 trash tags delivered. Walmart is selling trash tags now. We finally got everything straight with them. They're selling trash tags. So that's 4 different, four different areas of the county. They're selling them. And things are looking good, looking real good.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Becky and Randy, I think back in July when we had a meeting, they said we had a month's supply of money left. We're still on that money yet.
We're in December.
So
We're in the black.
we've got a lot more efficient with solid waste,
Yes,
a lot more.
absolutely.
So, my goal was, and I think I mentioned in the meeting back in July, I hope we can get on its feet before I go out of office. And I can say it's on its feet right now. It's not completely done, a long way to go, but we've came a long way with solid waste. It's been a challenge, and I hadn't did as much as the other 2 commissioners, but it's kind of been a team effort with everybody,
It has been.
with the employees and everything. So
You were involved too.
we're in good shape, and I don't have no doubt it'll keep going that way. So
It's a good service to the county. It needs to keep going in that direction.
then I think it speaks for itself when we didn't have to start looking for money right away. So we just kind of cleaned things up. And still providing the service.
Still cleaning up.
Yeah.
Still,
I think we're gonna be cleaning for a while.
yeah.
We're getting there.
Plans.
Every day it's a little better than the day it was before.
Yeah.
With that said, next meeting's Monday, December 23rd. Yeah, we'll just be getting that in that account.
Okay,
That's just notification.
okay.
Monday, December 23rd at 9 a.m. right here in this courthouse meeting room. And I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
I would like to say something. I know this is not your last meeting, but it's your last commissioners meeting with everyone. Randy's been with the county as a county commissioner for the last 12 years. I've worked with him for the last 2. I've been going to a lot of commissioners meetings and I've learned a lot from him. I've learned a lot. And he's had to bring me back down to earth a couple times, but I'm glad he did because, you're not right all the time, but you're not wrong all the time either. And even with political affiliations, we're still friends. And I plan on still being friends. I'm just not bringing my husband to your house because he's going to see all your equipment.
He needs to come out.
No. But I wish you the best. And your wife will have to keep you in line now. And we really appreciate everything you've done.
Well, thank you, Becky. It's been a pleasure and an honor to serve the people of Perry County for 12 years. And the employees here at the courthouse has been amazing. We couldn't do our job if it wouldn't be for the employees out here. And I'm not going to talk about the last 12 years, but I would like to mention the future of Perry County. I think it's bright. We got going to have new elected officials coming in. We got some re-elected. What I ask the people of Perry County to do, respect your elected officials and support them. You might not always agree with them, but support them and respect them. And I think we're the prime example of that the last 2 years. We agreed on a lot of things, and I think we got a lot done. We talked about a few things, the solid waste and different things, and we disagreed on some things. But when we did, when it came to a vote, we walked out of here united, even though it was a 2-1 vote. That's the way it's supposed to be. You speak your mind in a meeting and move on. I'm proud of that. And it's been great working with Becky and Randy and all the commissioners, and especially Teresa in the back for several years. She's in the back here. I know the people outside can't see it, but we've got a good team, and we always have and we always will. We just got some bumps, but we're Perry Countyans. We can get over all the bumps. Just work together and we'll be okay. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Well, I was going to save this till the 30th, Randy, but it has been a pleasure working with you. You're our historian.
Yeah.
Why'd we do that? Well, I can tell you what was thinking at that time. That's helpful. Just your little input, just like we recently had a door failure up at Solid Waste. You said, why don't you contact the insurance company? I never even considered that. And the insurance company paid for most of it. So, I mean, it's just a little insight. Some of those things you say, you think, and you do. I think we've worked very well together. And I do appreciate your effort, your support. I've never felt like you didn't have the best interest of the county and the people who live here.
That's true.
Whenever you made your decision. So I appreciate that. And my understanding is your wife's going to keep you busy from now on. So
That's what I'm afraid of.
He's talking new tractor.
So that's a good thing. So
Well, thanks, Randy.
don't not show up.
Yeah, don't be a stranger.
Well, I'll be here in case you need to have a little history. Just contact me. So,
Appreciate it.
and
Thanks for serving your community.
thank you.
Very much.
With that said, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Uh,